Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now, we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or, your father was right. You were an idiot, and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over-the-top gore? Check. Over-embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. We are still doing Christmas, and this is the part where we get to our horror. And this is not really a horror. This is more of a thriller.
It's thriller.
Horror elements.
Horror elements. I'd say
Yeah.
thriller with horror elements.
And it's kind of Christmassy. It's P2 with Wes Bentley.
Yes.
And, oh shit, what's her name?
Rachel Nichols. Is that
That's
who you're
it.
thinking of?
Yeah, Rachel Nichols. And they're really the only two in this movie. I know there's like some
Oh.
people at the beginning and maybe at the end, but it's really these two.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you remember about P2?
I remember accidentally finding this movie. I think it was on Prime. And I was literally just like scrolling through. It was probably about 5 years ago. Maybe 6. And I was like, oh, I've never seen this movie before. And I watched it and I was into it. Like I was super into it because I was like, oh, okay, she's being chased through a parking garage. Every woman's nightmare. So it felt very like viscerally terrifying because you're
Yeah.
like, well, shit. This is literally every woman's nightmare. This is what we're trained to think of. But it was so good. And I loved it because it was very much a thriller. There was a lot of suspense. There was a lot of, oh God, what is she going to do now? Oh God, what is he doing now? No, don't go there. You have horror kind of movie moments where you're screaming at the screen and being like, don't do that. No, he's right there. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved it. What were your thoughts?
I remember liking it. I'm not afraid of parking garages. I get that's where I'm at my scariest.
Yeah.
When I'm walking around and there's just me and some chick walking around. I get it.
Yeah.
I
You're
get it.
you're the scary thing.
I'm the scary thing. Me with my like bag of fucking shit from the mall. But yeah, I remember it being gory. I remember it being a lot better than I thought it was going to be because I watched this around the time it came out.
Yeah.
So it must have been a rental, and it probably was not what I went to get. It was probably something I grabbed because what I wanted wasn't there, or it was a second or third
Yeah.
pick to go along with it. This was becoming the end of the video store era, the 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
But I
This is
did
what
remember,
was getting around.
yeah, I think it was one of those things where I think it was the better of the movies that I did have, the movies that I watched that weekend. It was surprisingly the better of them. And it was just one of those things I stumbled upon and it was there. All right, box office. We are released on November 9th, 2007, right after Halloween and way before Christmas. At least it's before Christmas.
Yeah. We'll give them that.
With a budget of only $3.5 million, it had domestic of 3.9 and an international 3.7. So it made almost $8 million.
Yeah, and I don't remember there being a really big like marketing push for this. So
No.
they made money off of this.
They made money probably here, and they probably made even more money when it went to rental. and
Yeah.
DVDs. Yeah. So I'm guessing it was profitable. Not huge, but profit's a
No.
profit. It opened in 2,131 theaters and in 9th place behind B Movie,
Okay.
Second week. American Gangster, second week. Fred
Yep.
Claus, first week. Lions for Lambs, first week. Dan in Real Life, third week. I didn't like that movie. I don't remember liking that movie. Saw 4, third week. The Game Plan, seventh week. And 30 Days of Night, one of our favorites.
Oh, 30 Days of Night.
The following weekend, it dropped to 17th. Then the 42nd, then up to 41, then down to 60th, and then to 74th. And then it stayed in theaters for another 2 weeks and it was pulled.
Dang.
So, yeah, it didn't really do great, but again,
No.
not horrible.
No.
All right, let's go to the tail of the tape. November 9th, 2007. It is a mystery thriller, rated R, and comes at a pretty decently paced 1 hour and 38 minutes.
That is a great timing.
Yep. Taglines: a new level of fear,
Perfect.
a new level of terror.
Also perfect.
It's just if gonna say if there's another level. No, I don't think there is. She did what he never expected. She fought back.
Oh, that's a good one.
The only thing more terrifying than being alone is discovering that you're not.
Ooh.
These aren't bad taglines, actually.
These are actually pretty good.
Maybe you should put a little extra money in your marketing.
Right?
Yeah. Synopsis: Angela, Rachel Nichols, is working late on Christmas Eve. When she finally decides to leave, she goes down to the parking garage to get her car, but it won't start. Thomas, Wes Bentley, the garage's security guard, offers to help. He also invites Angela to dinner, but she refuses. It's kind of creepy. Thomas, crazed, knocks her out. She wakes up in Thomas's office, chained to a chair and in different clothes. Now Angela must fight for her life in order to escape from the garage.
Yep.
And here is the original poster. It's just the only thing worse than more terrifying than being alone is discovering that you're not. P2 in the middle, and then it's what is that? The pillar. She's hiding behind it, and then there's a dark figure with a flashlight, obviously looking for her, and then a new level of fear, and then all the movie stuff underneath. That's not a bad poster, actually.
I like it. It actually has very much like a dime store novel kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I like that.
It almost looks as if it was drawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Rotten Tomatoes. Strap in. 69 critic reviews, comes in at 35%.
Wow.
50,000 audience reviews, comes in at 36%. So pretty close here.
Wow.
Critic consensus: P2 is full of gore but low on suspense. Featuring a cat and mouse plot has been done many times before.
We're not asking them to reinvent the wheel.
I hate how every reviewer wants something new and original. How many new and
Yeah.
original things you think we're able to do?
Look, if those reviewers have repeated a breakfast, they are not new and original either. So they need to stop expecting that from everybody else.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's start with the positive. You may begin.
The last 30 minutes of this film is so gripping and so exciting. Emma Wolf, Spooky Astronaut, 6.5 out of 10.
Attempts to do for parking garages what Psycho did for showers. Mike Massey, Gone with the Twins, 6 for 10. I don't think parking garages need to do anything to be creepy. I think
correct. But also Mike Massey does not realize that parking garages are more terrifying for women than showers ever were.
Yeah, especially when you're at home, you don't really think of
Nobody, but every parking garage a woman walks into, we're all like, is this the one I get kidnapped in?
Yeah. And where I'm like, where the fuck did I park? That's
That's our second thought. That's our second thought.
Was that you or me?
I think this might be me.
Okay.
Such a fun, over-the-top, woman in peril horror movie that even the worst aspects of it complement the experience. Felix Vasquez Jr., Cinema Craze, 3.5 out of 5.
Wes Bentley may be a tad over the top as a sociopathic parking attendant, but the paces he puts his victim through are cleverly thought out, one impossibility accepted, and continually ratchet up the tension. Laura Clifford, Reeling Reviews, B-.
Swift and stealthy P2 is a canny exploitation of one of the urban woman's greatest fears, the after-hours parking garage. Jeanette Katsoulis, New York Times, 4 out of 5. Jeanette gets it.
An efficient scare package that breaks no new ground, but gets the job done. Maitland McDonald, Film Journal International.
It sounds like a formula slasher film, but it's actually done well. Roger Ebert, Chicago Sun-Times, 3 out of 4.
There's a low graded movie, and Roger Ebert's actually on the opposite end of the
Yeah.
masses. Rotten. I'll go first. Unscary, uninteresting tosh from people who should know better. Dan Jolin, Empire Magazine, 1 out of 5.
About as basic and unmemorable as a horror flick gets. Scott Weinberg, Fear Net, 2 out of 5.
Has a central setup that only holds water if we assume that the victim has recently escaped from a home for the terminally bewildered. Ken Hankey, Mountain Express, 1.5 out of 5.
Ken, I appreciate your wordplay, but the fuck? This is one of those thrillers where the person on screen is often the only person in the theater who can't guess what'll happen next. Kyle Smith, New York Post, 1 out of 4.
The only scary part about this is that someone out there might actually love it. Chris Farnsworth, E! Online, F.
Fuck you, Chris. Like a driver lost in a parking garage, this awful splatter fest spends its time going in circles, accomplishing nothing. Sean P. Means, Salt Lake Tribune, 0 out of 4. Damn, Sean.
Wow. All right, IMDb. With 37,000 user ratings, it comes in a much higher 5.9 out of 10. And for a horror movie, 5.9 is not bad.
That's actually pretty impressive for
Yeah.
a horror movie. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, we've watched 3.2s and 4.1s. Yeah, so 5.9s. You may go first.
A holiday movie that you shouldn't take your kids to. 10 out of 10. I, Tom.
What the fuck are you showing your kids? Watch out in those parking decks. 9 out of 10. The Drayton Sawyer. So not only a review, good
A
advice
warning.
too.
Engrossing psycho thriller that never lets up. 8 out of 10. Rob Follower.
I mean, his name's Rob, or he just follows Rob's.
Maybe he just follows Rob's.
Yeah. More violent and bloody than I thought it would be. 7 out of 10. Matt Layden. That's not a bad thing either.
Yeah, true. Tom and Jerry. 6 out of 10. Howling at the Moon reviews.
Decent horror movie spoilt by feminist ending.
Oh, Jesus.
5 out of 10. Katharina Sweden. And it's a
Yeah,
girl.
I'm so curious. I don't remember the
I don't
exact
remember.
ending.
No.
So now I'm like, what? Why
Okay,
is
are
it
you
ruined the
mad
whole
that she
feminist-
survived?
Yeah, I was like, what?
Like, the bitch survived. This sucks. Stupid feminist.
P2, a new level of mediocrity. Wow, my English is not so good today. 4 out of 10, Johnny Numb.
Johnny Numb. Didn't expect much. Got even less. 3 out of 10. Lotus Chief.
Damn. You ruined Christmas. 2 out of 10, Okie Forever. With a runner-up, more like P.U., Skay Baltimore.
I love it when they use the title of the movie in their review.
I know.
OMG. Was this supposed to be a horror? 1 out of 10. Mr. Pink, 121. All right. Well. Oh, crap.
Oh, no.
I had it and then I lost it. There it is. I want to share to everybody. Here we go. Share.
Hi, Mom. You're not going to believe what happened.
Angela, are you calling me from work?
Believe me, I can't wait to get out of here and see you guys.
Please don't be any later.
I promise, I won't. What am I gonna do? Hello?
Angela, are you okay? I didn't mean to scare you.
What happened to my clothes?
Yeah.
What do you want?
I've seen you drive out of here so many times. It's strange being with you. It's great, actually.
Please, if anyone can hear me, someone's trying to kill me. Merry Christmas.
Well, there we go. So reviews and box office and tail of the tape, and now a trailer. What's your prediction?
I think I'm gonna like it a lot.
Yeah, it looks good. The trailer looks good. I'm not expecting anything new here.
Yeah.
It's just a thriller.
Yeah.
Come on.
A
But
little
the
bit of
actors are,
gore.
yeah, and the two actors are actually good actors. So
So good. I do like Rachel Nichols a lot. I watched her a lot on Continuum, which was great. She played a time traveler,
oh yeah, right, yeah,
time traveling cop.
yeah. She's in the remake of the Amityville Horror,
Yeah.
GI
She
Joe.
she's done quite a few things.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and she was in Criminal Minds.
she was.
Yeah, she plays the FBI recruit whose dad was a
Oh
serial
yeah.
killer.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, she's been working fairly steadily for a while now.
yeah. All right. Well, we both think we're gonna like it. Well, I'm gonna go grab my kids and sit down and watch P2.
Because it's a holiday classic.
Oh,
You were feeling
hey
all warm
kids,
and
who wants?
fuzzy inside.
Yeah. Hey kids, who wants to watch a holiday movie? All right, we are going to go watch P2 from 2007, and when we come back, we are going to review it.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now, on with the show.
Yay! Did you watch P2?
I did indeed.
And what's your initial thoughts?
I still really like it. And there were some parts that I had forgotten about. And I was like,
I forgot
oh
a
my
lot.
God, yeah. Well, no, I remembered some parts, but I was like the entire she gets kidnapped, kept in a parking garage, and then fights for her escape. That one I remember. I remembered that. And then I
Yeah.
was like, oh right. Oh right, that happens. Oh right. Oh, she was so smart for that. So yeah, there was a lot of that. And I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I forgot. I did forget quite a bit of it. I forgot like the guy in the lower parking lot. I forgot about the other security guy. I forgot a ton. I
I
kind
forgot.
of like you. I remembered the kidnapping and all that stuff. But yeah, yeah. I liked it. I can see myself watching this again.
Yeah.
It's like, especially like if you've watched Krampus or Black Christmas for the umpteenth time, and you want something a little different. Rachel Nichols and Wes Bentley were great.
Wes Bentley is the ultimate creeper.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's
I do
so
like
good
him.
at it.
Yeah, something. Yeah, he has that look.
He really like every time throughout this movie, there was a smile he would do where I was like, if I saw you in an elevator with that smile, I'd be like, nah, man, it's cool. I'm gonna get the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah, and actually, because it was such a thin premise,
Hmm.
parking garage, kidnapping, they really did it. Like, it made sense. I mean, like, as far as like the serial killer and psychopath, he almost got caught a couple times. There were other people in the building, the phone calls, it was all pretty
Yeah.
good. There were two glaring plot holes, but I mean, other than that,
What were
um,
your glaring plot holes?
it was the gentlemen that did not make it, that both said they were going home to see their family. Their family most likely would have called, and someone probably would have went and checked that building.
Well, and it's not
Especially when someone
an
got there
issue.
and no one came to the door. The security guy didn't come to the door.
Well, yeah. First of all, that was her first like tip off. Like Carl is fully missing, and she's just like, "I'm locked in the building." Oh
Really?
my God, somebody's actually calling you.
Who uses a phone?
Telemarketers. It's okay. I have a phone down here too, but I turned off the ringer.
Yeah,
But
she does
I
the other
can't
day too.
get the answering machine to be silent because we
Mm,
need a manual answering machine for my dad. But I can't get that to be silent. So I'm like, God damn it. So I keep hoping that nobody calls and leaves a message. Anyways, my point is, Carl's family probably should have, but he makes a comment about how they're closing the building for 3 days, but he also says, "Hopefully, I can make it home in time to see the kids open their presents." So he, chances are, was on an overnight shift.
yeah,
Now, Jim, I don't know how shitty of a husband he was, but his wife should have been calling somebody
yeah,
multiple times to
yeah,
be like, "Where's my husband?
yeah.
Where
Where
did
are
he
you?
go?"
I just don't like him.
I don't think his wife likes him very much. I'm
No.
just saying.
And it was not as gory as the reviews made it out to be. Like, I'm sure in 2007, but by this time, I think Saw 4 was out, and they were way more gory than this. Hostel was out. That was more. But
Yeah.
I mean, the gore that was in this movie was very well done.
I have a theory about why they thought it was gorier. Because the majority of the gore was caused by a woman.
Oh,
Therefore,
maybe.
it makes them even more uncomfortable. Because when a man does it,
Yeah,
our subconscious is like, "Well, of course."
yeah. That,
But
that,
when a woman does it,
that
it's over
tracks.
the top. And I'm like, "No, man, we're just as violent as men.
Yeah,
We just have better control of our emotions.
yeah. Well,
But we'll still like poke you in the eye."
it's debatable. All right, let's go over
Are
this
you
movie.
dead yet? Are you dead yet? Your wife
No.
has incredible control of her emotions.
Yeah, that's true. Um, all right, the plot is simple, and like I said, they stretched it out, and it plays out surprisingly well.
Mhm.
So here we go. Angela Bridges is a young and beautiful businesswoman who works in a midtown Manhattan office block and gets stuck working late on Christmas Eve. Yeah, there's no way I'd be telling whoever was on the other end to kiss my ass. Like,
I would have
ugh,
taken the day off. I would
yeah.
have taken the day off. I wouldn't have been in the office for that phone call, so
Now, if you're downtown Manhattan, she's probably making a shitload of money. Maybe I would.
Um, here's my issue, the fact that she drove her own car.
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, if you work in Manhattan, and I'm assuming live in Manhattan, there is no way that you would have." Because at one point in the parking garage, the sign is up there that says monthly customers only. So I'm like,
Mm,
she drives to work every day in Manhattan?
yeah.
That's a logical fallacy. I'm like, this does not make sense. But, I mean, she kinda needed a car because how else are you gonna get into the parking garage?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they had to. We
Mhm.
also get to see the assistant. She's being sent home early. We get the
Yes.
guy coming in apologizing for something sexual obvious. Been there. No.
You had a guy come into your office and apologize for touching
All
you
the all the
inappropriately?
time.
So weird. So many women
Yeah.
have been in the same situation.
And she's like, "It's fine, leave me alone. I got shit to do. I want to get out of here." And then we
Yeah,
have the security guard getting scared because he thought the floor was empty. The couple arguing in the elevator
who
about
are
this
great.
broad's family. No, I really have been there. Um, been there. Uh, now, this is before leaving to attend a family party. When
Mhm.
she reaches the second underground parking level, P2, beneath the office block, she discovers that her car will not start. After receiving assistance from a socially awkward security guard named Thomas Barclay and turning down his offer to spend Christmas with him, which he says was a joke.
That's what they
And
all say
yeah,
when they see the no is coming.
yeah. And he's quite smart. And if you're going to be a sociopath or a full-out psychopath, kids, make them feel like this is their idea. Because he's like, I could try to jumpstart your car, or you can get a cab. It's up to you. So it doesn't work. She's pissed. He's like, I was only trying to help. She calls for a taxi and waits in the lobby. When the taxi arrives, she discovers she is locked in the lobby and runs back into the garage. The taxi leaves without her, and the lights shut down.
I'd like to point out that this is, if you've ever worked in an office building that has revolving doors, this is a fire hazard. There's always a door that you can push open from the inside that's not locked.
So there's a lot of plot holes in this movie.
There's a lot of like, this is one of those movies where you're just kind of like, we're going to pretend that there's not a door right next to that revolving door that has a little push to open panel. We're going to pretend that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Also, they shot in the building. It was either this building or a sister building that I used to work in. Because I was like, oh.
Well, I noticed the guy going down the elevator I think the guy who's this guy from Kim's Convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Kim's Convenience, yeah.
That is Kim's Convenience.
Yeah.
I say Kim's Convenience like that's his name.
Yeah.
But he is one of those Canadian actors that you have seen.
Oh yeah, he's been in everything from The Mandalorian.
So many things.
Yeah.
Same thing with Carl, the security guard. We've seen him in everything.
Yeah.
The man has had a very prolific career. Like everything. And then I looked him up because I was like, I know I've seen him like since I was a kid. And so many of his credits were either things that I watched as a kid, like Friday the 13th, the series. But he was also a voice on X-Men. And he was on Highlander, the series.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are a lot of familiar faces. I just wanted to throw that out there because the two faces you see for the majority of this movie are just Wes Bentley and Rachel Nichols.
Yeah.
Who are great, but like the other actors who kind of just make little cameos are fantastic and also very talented.
So the lights are out. Angela, guided by the light on her cell phone, wanders around the deserted parking lot. Thomas, who is revealed to be psychopathic, drugs her with chloroform and takes her to his office. I like this because great shot of him appearing behind her.
Yes,
that was a great shot, and he does look creepy.
It's so creepy.
I would have yelped like a high pitch yelp. And realistically, or more realistically, trying to do the chloroform on her because it takes a while to knock someone out with chloroform. Like it takes like 5 minutes. Like,
also, I think it was really hilarious that he was shushing her as he was doing it. She's like shh, shh, and I'm like,
no one hears you.
There's no one there.
No. Yeah, just let your full psychopath out. Just tell her to scream. No one can hear you.
No one can hear you. But
So
no, shh, shh.
They'll never find you. And you need good core strength and upper body strength. Like you really got to commit to the chloroform thing. Later, Angela awakens in a haze inside Thomas's office, having been changed into a white dress and high heels by Thomas and her foot chained to a table. Yeah, first she wakes up and he's in a Santa Claus suit and he's like, ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that's super weird.
Yeah, and she passes out again.
I would pass out too.
Yeah.
Why was I being kidnapped by Santa Claus?
Yeah, go to my safe place. Then she comes to, needs water, throws up, notice she's chained.
That's actually something I like because with chloroform, you do get sick 9 times out of 10. Like if they give you enough chloroform to knock you out, you will get sick afterwards. So it was nice to see that just like I'm going to be sick. And then there is throw up.
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah, it was super gross.
That's when you unchain her and go, oh, you can go now. You ruined the magic.
Thomas is cool with the magic being ruined. Because,
yeah, he didn't mind. He didn't care.
He didn't mind. He just pretended like it didn't happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was amazing.
And really, this is just a guy trying to get a pretty girl's attention the only way he knows how.
He just wants a friend.
Yeah. Chloroforming her and chaining her to a table.
And then he's like super surprised about why she's not thrilled that he changed her out of her clothing into a very revealing white dress.
Yeah.
And chained her to a table. Like, where's the thank you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Most people see Psycho. I say someone who is thinking outside the box.
He's trying so hard.
Because the dating pool is very hard.
Public service announcement. Please don't kidnap anybody and chain them to a table if you want to date them. Don't do that. Just don't.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay. Also, chloroform bad.
Yeah. You'll never.
And if you have to
never
drug
knock
someone
out.
yeah, if you have to drug someone for them to hang out, don't hang out with them.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, they might not be for you.
Yeah, just a thought.
Thomas tells her that he loves her despite her many sins, having obsessively watched and recorded her for some time through a CCTV in the office block. I was a security guard a long time ago. I didn't stalk anyone. I mostly slept.
Good for you.
Yeah, they had to bring me in, and they had a side-by-side video of me sitting on the chair with my feet up while crimes were going on during my shift.
That's fucking
Not
amazing.
one movement. My feet were just sleeping. It
Yeah.
wasn't any, and it wasn't. I was a horrible security guard, but it wasn't anyone in danger or someone needed to be or was.
No,
being
it was
harassed
just
or anything.
like
It was just
shoplifting and stuff.
It was on a college campus on the outside. Oh, like that when you're driving and that thing comes down to let people through the arm. Oh yeah, they ripped that right off and drove through. They were drunk, and there's me sleeping.
The only security guards I know is from when I've worked in malls. And they're pretty much of two camps. They're the ones who are like the decent security guards who just kind of roam around, talk to the people, and
yeah, it's a job.
Usher the people out. And then there are the other ones who didn't pass the psych eval to get into the police academy.
Yeah, the psychopaths.
Yeah,
This guy.
This guy, perfect example of it. I'm not. Oh God, I'm never going to be able to go into a mall again.
Despite Angela's pleas and threats, Thomas continues to hold her against her will, even forcing her to call her family and lie about an illness so that no one will come looking for her. Angela tries to escape, but cannot due to Thomas's Rottweiler named Rocky, and is also confined to handcuffs by Thomas. If you thought like to yourself, like this guy's gonna kill me eventually, wouldn't you just say fuck it and just say yell into the phone?
You could, but you will die immediately.
Yeah, and everybody always has that. You've got one more minute. That's one more minute you can get out of it.
Well, it's true. As long as you can keep fighting, there's always a chance that you can get out.
Because you ever see those movies, and I'm sure it really happened in real life, where mobsters or in the war movies where they make them dig their own grave.
Yes.
Because I'd be like, fuck that. No, you can shoot me and you dig my fucking grave. Piece of shit. As they shoot me.
You would do that. See, I'd be like, I'm not digging my own grave. If you want to kill me. Like, but I'm not.
But
doing
I guess you think,
manual
you know what? I
labor.
could start digging. Yeah, exactly. That would be my thing.
I'm not
but
doing manual labor if you're just going to kill me afterwards.
Yeah.
Why? Kill me
I don't know
now.
what my last thought.
If I wanted to dig
Out
holes,
of breath and sweating.
if I wanted to dig holes, I would have joined the union. I don't want to dig holes.
No.
So anyways, but yeah, no, it's one of those. Also, he had a lot of information about her family.
Yeah.
Like names of people and things. So I can assume that she'd be like, well, shit. Is he going to go after them? And that's always a concern that women have. This is also like a woman's worst nightmare. This is why we're all like, oh God, parking garage. Because we're terrified of things like this happening. Usually it's not this elaborate.
No.
But yeah, I can understand why she didn't just scream into the phone. But I had that thought where I was like, give them a hint. And then I was like, well, shit.
Yeah.
You've skipped so many family events that they're like,
Makes sense.
Angela's just being Angela.
Yeah.
She said that last time that she wasn't feeling well. I'm like, God, girl, do better.
Taking Angela to another level of the parking lot, Thomas reveals her co-worker, Jim Harper. This is the guy that apologized for
sexually assaulting her
in the elevator.
But he didn't use those words. He made a mistake.
Yeah, it was a mistake. Yeah.
Too much alcohol. It's been a hard year because his wife just had a baby a year ago. Fucking dickhead.
Yeah. Now she's fat.
I feel, honestly, I'm not overly sad about Jim.
No, I mean,
I'm okay with it.
Well, okay, hold on. So Jim
Yeah.
Harper tied to an office chair. Thomas delusively believes that Jim is a terrible person after he witnessed him drunkenly grope Angela at an office party and refuses to listen to or believe Angela's pleas that Jim apologized for his drunken action earlier. Thomas instructs Angela to get back at Jim by hitting him with the flashlight, but ultimately beats Jim himself and then sadistically rams him into the wall with a car multiple times, killing him. Great scene. I'm like, oh fuck, oh Jesus Christ, oh fucking stop hitting him.
Honestly, I had to close my eyes a couple times because I
Fucking
was like,
die
oh!
already, dude.
I was sitting there and I was like, really? 3 hits?
Yeah.
Like the first
And he got the
after
shit
beating
beat
him?
out of him with the crowbar or the flashlight.
It was the flashlight. It's one of
flashlight.
those like law enforcement
big one,
flashlights.
yeah.
So it's the long, heavy ones.
Yeah, big
And
D
he just
batteries
like,
in it.
yeah. So he just like beats on him in his head, like, and he's bloody and terrible. And then he gets behind the wheel of the car and then like rams it, like takes it for a drive, then pulls back, then rams into him. And then he lets him kind of fall and then rams into him again. And then the third time that he rams into him and they pull back, you see Jim and the state that he's in.
Oh, yeah, it
His
didn't look
whole
good.
ass sternum was out. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh boy.
Yeah, he needed more than an Advil.
Yeah.
Yeah, his head was split
There
right open.
are not enough Band-Aids in the world
Yeah, he
to
was
put
fucked
Jim back
up.
together again.
No.
But during this jaunty trip, I guess, Angela manages to get herself kind of free.
Yeah.
Like unlocks the car door, manages to get the door open, and she runs a little bit. And we're proud of her.
Yeah. Admits the murder. There we go. Angela is able to escape barefoot after ditching her high heels. Yeah, if you're ever kidnapped, don't just get rid of your high heels.
Get rid of the high heels.
Yeah, you don't need them.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Don't.
Even if they're
don't sprain
really
an
nice
ankle.
high heels.
It'll hurt your heart a little bit and
Yeah.
you'll cry a little bit, and that's okay.
If you survive, you can go back and try to find them.
You can, or you can just buy yourself a whole new I survived being kidnapped heels. And I mean,
you treat
those are
yourself. You would deserve it.
100%.
While Thomas hides the evidence, Angela finds a safe place to hide and manages to get her handcuffed hands in front of her. She rushes back to Thomas' office to retrieve her cell phone, finding key cards and a spot near the locked gate that has reception. But after dialing 911, she drops her phone on the other side of the gate. What I liked about this movie is, are you kidding me? One of our kids don't have cell phones, and we taught them how to use a regular phone.
Oh, see, there's your first problem.
Which was, it took a bit for them to like, what do I have to do? And
Yeah.
So now I think it's a Friday
Now
night.
they're
too.
friends. Yeah, it's Friday night. It's 7:30.
But I like this because, like, that's something that would probably happen because she was trying to put it out as far as she could, and the phone slipped out of her hand. It was, I don't want to say completely realistic, but it was fairly realistic.
Fairly, because she's not getting any service in the parking garage, which in the 2000s was very, very prevalent.
Yeah.
Like the minute you got underground anything, your service was shot.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes
she's like,
spots like in like a Walmart or a Costco or
100%. I had to switch providers because in my basement, I had worse reception with one provider versus another in my house basement. And I'm like, I got to switch over because at least I can answer phone calls on, sadly, the other one. But anywho, so she puts her hand out and it was great. And then it falls and she has that moment of desperation and she tries to get back in there. And then what I think is the grossest part of this entire movie, her nail catches on the concrete on the ramp.
Oh yeah, because she's trying to, and that's something again, because you would be so terrified. You would try to,
because she's trying to do it quietly and she's trying to like not make too much noise or move too much, or and then all of a sudden the nail catches and you're just like,
yeah, it looked like that hurt. And this is when she's screaming for help, wasn't it? And then the homeless person just starts screaming, repeating
mimicking
everything
her.
she's saying.
Yeah.
Like,
which
nice.
Also very on brand for downtown Toronto. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it feels like home.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure any downtown big city.
Yeah.
Homeless, crazy people. She uses a key card to get to the elevators with Thomas right behind her. While in the elevator, Angela calls for help from the panel of the elevator. She hears a voice that appears to be an operator, but later turns out to be Thomas. That was funny too. Not funny, but I mean,
Well, yeah, she thinks she's finally getting help, and then
yeah,
all of a sudden, just call 911, and he's like, "No."
yeah, no, I
You're
don't
like,
think so.
"Ah, Jesus," and then she figures out it's Thomas, and she's
Yeah,
like she kinda has a mini breakdown, which I'm like, "Girl, valid.
yeah,
You have that you deserve it. You're locked in, you're pretty much safe in an elevator. Cry. Cry it out, girl."
yeah. Thomas, who flushes her out by flooding the elevator with a fire hose from the higher floor. Amidst the flooding, the body of Carl Donson, another
Mhm.
security guard, drops down and hits her. So we find out what happened to Carl. Poor Carl got killed
Yes.
and is hidden in the elevator.
But I like that she was, like, dedicated to staying in that elevator. She
Yeah.
tells him, "I am not leaving this elevator. I am staying here forever."
Yep.
And he starts flooding it, and she's still like, "Nope, I am not leaving. I don't care if I drown. I don't care if I freeze to death. I'm staying." Like, she's just, like, not moving at all. She's like, "This is it." And then Carl pretty much falls on top of her. And then when she sees Carl, she's like, "Oh, no, Carl."
Poor
And
Carl.
that's when she gets out of the elevator to see if she can give Carl help. I don't know if Carl is dead. I want
Uh,
him to not be dead.
yeah, and I don't think they don't even. That's not
They don't
even.
confirm he lives or
No,
not.
no.
And it kind of annoys me. This is my one and only gripe. So if the writer of this movie could please contact us, does Carl live?
Yeah, or do a
Please?
director's cut with
Yeah.
Carl going home to his family at the end.
Yeah. Or them like coming to the hospital and being
Yeah,
like, "Carl, are you okay? Just give me something."
he's like, "No, bitch, I'm not okay. I almost got killed and drowned in a fucking elevator. Give me some eggnog." While hiding in the parking lot, Angela is tormented by Thomas, who plays Elvis Presley's Blue Christmas over the intercom. She breaks open an emergency fire axe and begins to destroy the cameras one by one while
Mhm.
making her way to his office, prepared to fight. Yeah, and this a little different because usually it's the girl running around scared. This girl, there's a reason she's corporate.
Yep.
She got up that ladder somehow, not by being meek.
Also, she grew up on a farm.
And she grew up on a farm.
And if you
Yep.
know anybody that grew up on a farm, they will fuck you up. Because they spent their lives getting up at the crack of dawn, sometimes even before dawn,
Yeah.
getting in a good solid 6 hours of work, then doing like 8 hours of school or 8 hours of work, and then coming home and doing another 4 hours of work. So I'm just saying, don't fuck with farm people.
No. And yeah, killing stuff is not really that gross to them.
They're kind of cool with it, you know.
Yeah. On entering, she finds a video playing of Thomas himself molesting her body while she is drugged, enraging her. Thomas sneaks up behind her, knocks her out with a taser, and hides her in the trunk of a car, just as two police officers arrive in response to her reported disturbance. Angela wakes up and breaks out, but realizes she is too late and sees the police car drive off. Well, the police car did go. I'll hand it to Thomas. He really fucking cleaned that place up.
He really did. He really did. I
With all
mean, I
that
don't
blood and
know
shit.
I don't know how he found the time, but he found the time.
Yeah,
He
he
took care
did.
of business. Also very efficient. Very, very efficient because I'm like, "Sir, you did not have that much time to do this, but you did an
No.
amazing job." Um, I did like this a lot because you see, Angela in the trunk, and it's
Yes.
very well lit to be, like, just creepy enough. And she manages to get out her tool or the toolbox that's there. Um, and she manages to get out of the trunk, but I think Thomas realizes like she's screaming like
Yeah.
help. And that's when he puts music over the loudspeaker. Again, a nice little Christmas ditty.
Hmm.
Um, so nobody can hear her screaming from inside the trunk as the cops roll past with their which by the way, I'm like, "God damn it, guys. Would it kill you to fucking, like, get out of the car? Maybe check a few things?"
Yeah.
And then I was also thinking to myself, Angela should definitely be moving that car. like roll around in the trunk, like get it to bounce up and down.
Yeah, get it to move.
Because if they can't hear you, move the car, because then they're going to be like, why is that car moving?
Yeah,
That
might
makes
want to
more
check that out.
sense. Yeah, let's go look. Anyways.
Thomas releases Rocky, who chases Angela and bites her leg. Although she manages to kill Rocky, this act causes Thomas to become enraged and continue pursuing Angela in a more vicious manner. Yeah, the dog, that was fucking dogs. That was a pretty good scene too.
It was a good scene, but I felt bad for the dog because I had forgotten about the dog.
Mangled that fucking thing.
She like went in, and I was like, I mean, deserved that fucker. Yeah. But also puppy dog. No, don't do that to the puppy dog. I felt bad for that, but that's just me. But yeah, I was like, oh, don't kill the dog. Don't kill the dog. And then she killed the dog, and I was like, I mean, he was kind of vicious and terrible. So I mean, but Thomas's reaction.
Yeah, he was just a dog.
He was just a dog. What did he do to you?
Yeah, try to kill her, eat her.
What? You literally sicked him on her. Like she was defending her, and then those were the moments where you're like, Thomas is bad shit. Like he's fully bad shit.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah.
Thomas releases. Oh, whoops. Vicious manner. Angela finds keys in a car rental office and tries to escape by car, but is sideswiped by Thomas in another vehicle, leading to a game of chicken, which Angela wins. However, in the heat of the chase, she flips the vehicle. Thomas opens the door, and Angela, unconscious, manages. Pretending to be unconscious.
I think pretending to be unconscious,
and stabs him in the eye.
Yeah, man,
and then begins choking with it. Yeah, they show it. Yeah, if you everyone listening, if you don't remember, yeah, they show that thing going right into his eye.
Right, like they did a close up.
Fucking painful.
It looked painful and kind of gross because I was like, ew. But one thing that this lovely summary has skipped over is the kind of cat and mouse thing because she gets into the rental office. She dials 911. And she's on hold, which, by the way, is something that happens. And it's super great. But anyways, so, and then she's trying to like use like letter openers and things to undo the cuffs, which, by the way, she still can't do. Like she still has the cuffs. But then Thomas figures out that she's there. Like he hears about the dog. He screams. He follows her into the rental office because she leaves a bloody handprint on the door. And he kind of follows the trail of blood towards the back. And she leaves a false trail by ripping off a piece of her dress and putting it in the door. So he thinks she's in that closet when really she's in the other one. And then she sprays him in the face with something. We don't know what. But she sprays him in the face with something. And then she goes and runs out and finds a car from one of the keys in the handful of keys that she grabbed before she left the office. And I was like, good for you, girl. Good for you. Blind that bastard. He didn't end up blind, but he ended up very uncomfortable, which I'm okay with.
Yeah. And she chokes him with her handcuffs while denouncing Thomas for his sadistic actions. She takes his keys to free herself, cuffs him to the car just before he comes to, and begins to leave while taking his taser. Thomas, now powerless and trapped, desperately starts pleading with her, revealing he's always alone, but ultimately insults her in anger when Angela doesn't respond to his pleas. This pisses Angela off, and she tasers the gasoline, which sets on fire, leaking from the car, and sarcastically wishes a now horrified Thomas a Merry Christmas before using the taser to ignite gasoline, engulfing a screaming Thomas in the flames and causing the car to explode, killing him.
So satisfying. Two things I'd like to highlight. One, when she's choking him out, she's like, come on, Thomas, let me help you.
Yeah.
Let me help you. I just want to help you. Let me help you. And I was like, yes, do it. And then, God, what was the other thing I wanted to highlight? I don't know. I got really the choking was my favorite. What causes her to turn around? Because she was fully willing just to walk away.
Yeah.
She was ready to just get the fuck out. Yeah. And then he calls her a cunt.
Yeah.
And she's like, the fuck you say? And then she turns around and I was like, I mean, valid. How you gonna talk about someone like that when you're chained to a car surrounded by gasoline and you've terrorized this woman for hours?
Yeah.
Buddy, keep your mouth shut. Maybe you live.
Well, yeah, not
He would have been alive for the
he would have
police
been
to come
alive,
and
yeah.
take them
Yeah.
if he had just kept his mouth shut. But nah, he got to run it and still act like he's in charge of things. You're not, bitch.
Finally free, Angela, who is now wet, bloody, and injured, opens the garage gate and limps out into a cold and desolate Manhattan Christmas morning, just as the fire department, paramedics, and police can be heard arriving.
Mm-hmm.
And that is our movie. And we don't know what happened to Carl.
Well, we don't know what happens. We don't know what happens to Carl. We're assuming Thomas is now dead. He did stop screaming at some point.
Yeah, he looked. That was a pretty big fire, and
Yeah,
he was
kinda,
completely engulfed.
but it's funny because as they went dark for the credits, just before the credits start, you hear someone say, "Ma'am, are you okay?" And you're like, "Oh," because I was like, "Why are they?" I think they start driving past her, and I was like, "You're not gonna pull over and just
Yeah.
be like, yo,
She's probably
something seems
barefoot,
wrong."
walking in the winter, covered in blood.
Wearing a short white dress
Yeah,
and soaking wet.
Yeah.
It might be. You should probably like pull over and be like, "Yo, you okay?"
Oh, look, another
And they do.
crazy. All right, that is our movie. What was your score for P2?
I say buy it, and here's why. While this does take place during Christmas, and there are a lot of Christmas moments, like they talk about the Santa Claus suit, the presents that she's carrying around, which eventually become a hindrance to her, how everybody wants to go home for Christmas morning, and it highlights, that this one super lonely guy kind of jumps off the ship into the crazy lake. It's actually good all year round.
Mhm.
Like this is just a good standard thriller, and it has just enough gore to make it interesting. While it has plot holes and some things that you're like, that's weird. For the most part, it seems logical. There's nothing that's so out of the ordinary or so spectacular that you're like, that could never happen in real life. Everything that happens in this movie has a really good basis in this could really happen. So I think that adds to the level of like kind of suspense and discomfort that people can have while watching this.
Mhm.
So I think it's a good all year round, like really decent thriller with some pretty decent gore in it. And I was entertained. I still enjoyed watching it like through the entire thing. So I was like, yeah, I could totally watch this again, and I probably will. Um, it was good fun. So I say buy it.
Yeah,
Your rating?
I liked it too. I would probably say buy it at a discount.
Mm.
Again, it can be watched. It's like Lethal Weapon. It does have Christmas and Die Hard.
Yeah.
But you can watch it anytime. It's not that Christmas centric. I like the gore. There were plot holes, but it was the little things that made sense. Like she couldn't get her handcuffs open.
Yes.
The 911, the cops coming. It was all the little things that helped make it cool, and that how she fought back. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Yeah, I like I said before, especially if you want to wait till Christmas and you've watched Krampus, Black
Mhm.
Christmas, all those horror movies one too many times, this is a perfect one to kind of like give those movies a break. No, I liked it. It wasn't my favorite movie. They didn't invent the wheel, but it was well done. It was well acted, and it
Yep.
was fun.
Yes.
You're right. The gore was very well done.
It
Like
was.
when she stabbed his eye, that looked like it hurt. When that dog bit her leg, that looked like it hurt. That guy getting his head bashed in by the car driving, that really looked like it fucking hurt. So yeah, no, I would buy it at a discount. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll definitely watch it again.
It's a fun movie, and like you said, they didn't reinvent the wheel. Like it is pretty standard fare, but there's a certain element of realism to it, which I think lends to the feeling of, suspense that you get when you're watching it, which I think is something that's really important. So you're not just like watching to see how gory it can get, or to see, and it's not fully predictable, because there are times where you're like, oh yeah, she's finally going to get out, and then you're like, oh no, she's not. Well, crap. Okay, but that makes sense why she didn't get out, you know.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it, and there were a lot of people, and kinda R.I.P. Jim. I'm not totally sad you died, but I'm kind of sad that it was like overkill. It was
Yeah, it
overkill.
was a shitty way to go.
Cool,
Oh, yeah,
but
definitely cool.
like overkill, man.
Poor
It was-
Carl.
yeah, and Carl, what happens to Carl? I need to know. But yeah, no, I think if you're looking for something that's not a super happy Hallmark Christmas movie, or like kid centric, but you don't necessarily want to go like you said with the old classics like Black Christmas or Krampus, or Violent Night, although I'm probably going to end up rewatching that this week. Then this is a good alternative where it's not so dark,
Yeah.
but it's dark enough.
Yeah. And we did have on our YouTube, we did have a thing here of what we posted if people would buy it. So we had 36% said buy it, cat and mouse thriller on Christmas. 27% said rent it, take a break from Hallmark. 27% said stream it and become even more paranoid. And 9% said skip it. It's Christmas, not Halloween. So 36% said buy it. So yeah.
Look at that. Thanks, guys, for agreeing with us.
Well, 36% of you. The rest of you are stupid.
The rent it and stream it people are kind of with us.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming back to 2007 and watching P2. We have one buy it and one buy it at a discount. And until the next movie we remember liking.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.